So when we come back to Tawheed al-Ibadah, worshipping Allah by maintaining His unity in that worship, we do so in the way that the companions of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did. We do not invent or introduce new ways of worship. As some people, for example, they want to celebrate the birthday of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. So they say, well, this is something good. They may even bring a verse from the Quran. They would say, Allah said in the Quran, إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَمَلَائِكَتَهُ يُصَلُّونَ عَلَى النَّبِيِّ يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا صَلُّوا عَلَيْهِ وَسَلِّمُوا تَسْلِيمًا. They bring this verse out. And you say, well, where does it say celebrate the Prophet's birthday there? You see, it's there. This is what it means. It's their interpretation. Right? Their interpretation. The point is that the companions of the Prophet ﷺ didn't understand that verse that way. And that's why they never celebrated his birthday. And he himself didn't understand that verse that way, and he didn't celebrate his birthday. And the early generations didn't celebrate his birthday. It wasn't until some 400 years after the time of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ that his birthday began to be celebrated in Egypt in the Fatimid Shiite rule. In the Fatimid Shiite dynasty in Egypt, the celebration of the Prophet ﷺ's birthday began. So we say this is not legitimate. Some people say, well, okay, leave that aside. Just the idea of celebrating his birthday, what are we doing in the celebration? We're only remembering Rasulullah ﷺ. We're asking Allah to bless him. These are all good things. We remember his seerah, his life, and all this. These are all good things. Do you say this is not good in Islam? Yes, these things are good things. But to combine them on that day, every year, you have now created something new in the religion. This is bid'ah. Similarly, we could ask, if somebody suggested to you, you have to understand bid'ah, sometimes it involves something completely new, like the idea of the birthday celebration, because we don't really have any precedents for it at all in Islam. But bid'ah may actually have precedence in the religion itself, wherein a person takes something like, after prayers, raising your hand in dua. After every prayer, people raise their hands in dua. People say, well, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with it? Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that Allah does not like, or he is shy, that anyone would raise their hands in dua and that they would put their hands down without fulfilling their wish, their desire. Isn't that imply that we should raise our hands in dua? Prophet Muhammad ﷺ raised his hands in the dua of istisqa, the prayer to seek rain. He raised his hands so high, that's how he did it, they could see his armpits. Say, here's the evidence. But the point is, we do not find any narration indicating that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, after every prayer, raised his hands in dua. People say, this is picky. Why are you going to get so picky? If it said that you raise your hands, Allah is shy not to give you. He said the Prophet ﷺ raised his hands in istisqa. Why can't we just do it after every prayer then? What's the problem here? We say, the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is not just what he did, but also what he didn't do. You have sunnah fi'liya, the sunnah of actions which he did, and sunnah tarkiya, or sunnah of actions which he didn't do, which are religion, dealing with the religion. Of course, there are many things he didn't do which he didn't like personally. We're not talking about those. We're talking about things connected with the religion. The things he didn't do, it is sunnah not to do. Very important. Because if one opens this door, that as long as he said this, he said that, we can put it all together and come up with something which he didn't do, then the religion becomes innovated. You can now change the religion at will. Okay, I didn't say don't raise your hands when making dua. Please get this clear, right? I didn't say that. I'm saying don't make it a regular practice. What I'm saying is sometimes you may raise your hands while making dua, and other times you make your dua without raising your hands. This is the point. Let us not feel that the only way to make dua is you must raise your hands. This is not the case. You can make dua without raising your hands. Right? So this is what I'm saying. The making of dua also during the time of sujood. This is the time Prophet ﷺ recommended. These are times when duas are accepted. One may do so in the salah at that point also.